we have currently set up in Jamaica, unfortunately, you don't have that type of feedback, fix again, play again. Um,
Okay.
when you look at it, the first time players are met with this most of the time is when they reach the Premier League or if they move overseas. And when person look at the transition from schoolboy football and say, why were schoolboy footballers not ready for professional football? Because they were never exposed to that. Or best schoolboy footballer, someone who's playing, let us say, for JSU or KC that typically reaches to the finals, they will start training
Mm-hmm.
um, and playing matches in September. Well, they start playing matches in September and they finish in December at best. September, October, November, December, that's 4 months. While you'll have all these youth players across the world starting their season in September, just like PSV, start September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, finishing in May. And even when you look at PSV, PSV was able to take the game because there's a 2 week break in Easter and they need to play games to keep fresh. So you're looking at Jamaicans, the best of our players, playing 4 months of football as opposed to every single player. Because just like in Premier League, Brentford doesn't play less matches than Manchester United in the Premier League. Yes, he
Mm-hmm.
might have the cups, but they get to play still from September all the way until May. So that's a big difference, and we all know it's not just the JC players. We'll have a national player that might be represented Arden or Meadowbrook that did not go to the second round. That player plays for 1 month.
Wow. So then we have to lead to this part of the conversation. So how much workload you guys could take on, and always like the financial backing if you should expand, because obviously you guys have to have a cap out at certain levels, right? Like you can't put more than 70 people, more than 80 people. So what is your cap out level, and how are you trying to expand that cap out level?
Well, right now we have, I think, approximately 250 players in the academy. I think we have 15
250.
teams. We really try to get our academy to a stage that you have 1 year gap in between. I think in most models, whether schoolboy or club football, you have under 14, then under 16, or for CASAF, you have under 13, then under 15, under 17. You know, what that too often does is that there's a player that doesn't develop enough in the year that he's not 13. Because under
Mm,
13, the 12-year-old doesn't develop as much as the 13-year-old who's getting as much game time. So what we try to do, we have two under 13s, two under 14s, two under 15s, two under 16s, one under 17. So it gives more players time to develop, and it gives them a
mhm.
chance to play in their age group a little bit more. Um, as I say, we do cap out. I think if there's not more field space, there's not much more that can be done. We are looking to improve on the field, and we're also looking to actually get lights. It's a huge difference when you're able to play in conditions that is conducive to good football. I
Yeah.
think probably 90%, I'm just giving you a figure, 90% of Jamaicans play football between 10 a.m. and 4, 4 p.m. It is very hot at that time. Um, if we were able to have more players playing at 7 o'clock in the evening, which most academies in Europe start to train in the evening, despite
Facts.
their cooler conditions, we'll have players producing a lot more in trains and in games. Playing a football game at 10 a.m., I can tell even as a coach, I get tired walking up and down the field in warm up for
Yeah.
that. As opposed to when we actually just played the under 13 game yesterday at Barbican starting at 7, it was a lot different for the players, the experience, how to execute what they need to execute in those conditions. So I know those are two big things. I mean, the entire academy could not happen just on the parents support. The parents are the ones that actually try to make it happen. But a big partner we have is KFC. I think from the
Yes.
start, KFC found a way to become involved first in just working with some of the players that can't afford to get to training, finding ways to assist our program to get these youngsters to these trainings, helping with their bus fare.
So okay. Oh, well said. Well said. So would it not be beneficial if you if
Some, of course, even representing national team went overseas.
Okay, we're getting some little static from you. Are you hearing us? Are you hearing us? Yeah, because you.
You're not hearing me?
Oh yes, we're hearing you now. We're hearing you now. You went out for like around 5 seconds. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So
but
yeah, as I was
you're
just saying that KFC really came in again and up the ante. They gave even more this year and last year to actually make this trip to Europe a possibility. Um, I know some figures are out there, but it's just so much that they've done to make it a possibility. We have
Mhm.
other persons, we have First Rock also coming in assisting, but we really want to give all our sponsors, but KFC, our main sponsor, a lot of thanks for that. But I think it's what we have to do in Jamaica because
Mhm.
it's the support is not coming from the Jamaican government. You know, there's a lot
Okay,
on Jamaican government's
and
plate,
that
but the
is
reality is
where we
in
want.
Netherlands, you see so much assistance coming from their government to the
And
football. It
and
allows.
and
Go
that
ahead.
is where we want to, that is where we want to get into, because when we are seeing everything, we start to ask the questions, because every single time Mr. Speed and others from the JFF comes on even my program, and they say that they're trying to find people to help develop Jamaican football. So how can you be one of the brightest sparks in Jamaican football but yet still don't get any assistance from it? And they have to get a coach, then tell the coach that they need to try and help the younger, the lower level. Or is that making sense? Because you guys have 250 kids, and if you had gotten the support, the lighting, and all of those things, you could have even took on more people along the way, and then be a big factor in towards growing the local pool of players, getting that experience. So that's what I'm saying. But after you answer that, I want you to add on it. How can others, like people that listening to you now, get on board and support you? Because diasporan will always support these things. You get me? So
Mhm.
after explaining that side, like if you guys have written towards the JFF, because they are actually the personnel that should support anything that is developing kids in the country. So have you guys written to them, and you get a report on it, like you get a response back from them?
I mean, the correspondence with JFF or with other entities, CASAFA is now in our jurisdiction. There are times that things have come through, but the reality is there's more that should be done. And I'm not just speaking for KFA, but if we really want to get our coaches to do more, we have to find ways to encourage that. I think even just coming out of coaching school, how we can ensure that coaches are properly paid. It is a part of a university's what do you call it? Their responsibility to ensure persons that they graduate have something to do. It is a part of then JFF as they look to move coaches out. How can we ensure that the coaches have something to now give back in their community to us, but they are now properly compensated? That we're going to ensure that there are proper surfaces to play on. Yes, I believe it is their responsibility, and it does not mean that JFF needs to come up with 25 million or 25 billion. It means that someone there has to now be in charge of the fundraising aspect of it. It might mean now approaching more corporate sponsors. Can we put down and we look forward to it one day? There's going to be a KFC um, field where it is KFA and another entity using that field, but it is put there because these two entities is giving back so much to the football landscape in Jamaica that we have to now help them and put them on that proper playing surface. They now have the right infrastructure, they have the lights, they can put in that amount of training. And then we set that same thing up in Klein because there are two clubs
Oh,
there doing the right thing. And we do the same thing in St. Anne because there's a great academy there. So it's the same thing that we need to be doing to actually inspire coaches. And when you see that, you're going to have more persons gravitating towards it, more persons recognizing this is a career path worth it. I think even right now, you have so many coaches seeing that being a coach is so expensive because I have to be trying to get these players home, try to get these players food. It almost comes more as a burden on the coach rather than something for him to actually make a career out of and an income to feed his own family.
okay, wow, that
Um,
is
I
very
mean,
tough.
as you had asked, what can new persons do. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
to just continue to do the work. I think there are persons, just like you said, that in the diaspora to help. So new persons can tap in. How can persons help KFA? I mean, you just come to a field and and just start to help. So many times it means you just come in to help us with coaching. I think we just had put out advertising for that, looking for a new coach. It could be that you come in to just help us to start to build some stands. Whatever it is the help can come from so many different ways. And then financially, there, as we mentioned, there are 15 teams. So it could be, yes, there is a title sponsor, but you could recognize you like the Bayern Munich team that just traveled, or there's the Chelsea team. Teams just have
Mm-hmm.
different names. So the under 17 team went to Europe, and the under 15 team is going to USA. Can I now actually ensure the entire team that is going to USA is able to go, and we can bring everyone, whether they can afford it or cannot afford it. But I mean,
Yes,
there's just so many different ways that they can be of assistance. They can always reach out to myself or to Eric,
yes.
um,
That's
directly on IG.
okay.
We
Yeah,
are
that's
willing
what
to
we want to
take
get
that
to.
help, and we are willing to help, others, other academies, other clubs in a way we can.
Yeah, man, that is exactly what you wanted to know. Like, for instance, because remember, majority of the diaspora and they are not in Jamaica, so they can't come in and help with the stands,
I
but
wasn't
they could.
hearing you just now. You can repeat that for me?
You're hearing me now? You're hearing me now? Are you hearing me? I don't know. If you're not, it looks like. Are you hearing me now? Let me know if you're hearing me. Guys, let
Hello.
me know if let me know if you are hearing me in the chat. Let me know if you guys are hearing me in the chat. It looks like somebody call him and knock it out, but I'm hearing him. I'm hearing him well.
Oh, I'm hearing you now.
Okay, good, 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 good. All right. So what we were saying is what we are saying is persons over from the diaspora, they can't come and make stands or help coaching and those stuffs. So what they could have done is to assist, because once we saw like the money that KFC putting in, um people would like to know if they have anything that they can put in, because they know that it's going to something good because they're seeing it. I think by me doing my assessment, most of the persons, they want to support Jamaica so bad, but it's because the lack of transparency from persons. And when people seeing you guys doing this thing and they know that yes, they can buy a boots, they can buy two boots, and they can buy 20 socks, 30 socks, and get to you guys. You understand me? It even makes me feel like I want to get involved and support it. You understand me? So they just want to know where they could go. Like if you have a place that they can donate directly. And I love the fact that you said they can contact you and or Eric on it. So I'm gonna try and get the Instagram and post it in the chat for the persons to get there. All right.
Right. Yeah, man. I mean, as we said, what I was saying is anyone wants to start to build those stands. If someone wants to help us to start to put up these lights, that's something we want to have. I think we have our fence up, and we're gonna be putting billboards right on for all the persons that come in and are
Mm-hmm.
part of building this entire academy. So that's how we're looking to help to raise these funds, as we look to the different initiatives. And as I mentioned, there are some smaller things helping a youngster with whether it is lunch monies, helping a youngster with classes. We try to even have our players be ready for that side of the world. For universities, so there are going to be times we need players to be doing their SAT classes. Um, just simple thing like boots is something we always want to be able to do for our players. I think for all of our teams, we try to reach out. At least 30% of each team has players that probably could not afford it, but we still find a way and get them a scholarship and someone to sponsor them to be in the academy. So you can just literally be a part of the academy as a
Mm-hmm.
sponsor, and you're
Yeah.
sponsoring a child because you recognize this young man from Penwood is so good, and you want to give him that opportunity to be in the academy. He can't afford it, but I can now afford it for him and make this a possibility for him.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely like that, man. But what you have to do going forward, maybe you can pass it on to Radar Marker, because I am in this space and I kind of know how it works. What you could do going forward, like you guys have some set plan. You explained the lighting and stuff. You just make like the total cost for the lighting, and you just make a GoFundMe situation. You get me? And you're free to come on here and actually promote that GoFundMe so we can get it done. Because I myself will donate in every single one of them things here that you guys are doing. But I would like for others, because my subscribers them, they like when they do see the thing. So if whatever the GoFundMe is, you just bring it and they will start supporting it instant. So maybe you can explain it to Radar Marker and then put it together. And I can tell you, these people will support that, because you guys are growing rapid fans out here, rapid fans. So we are getting some questions from personals here. Sports prophecy said, JD, when you get a chance, ask him if KFA is playing a Dutch style of football or it's their own model. That's the first
It's
question.
a very interesting question. There's so much adaptation from the Dutch style of playing. You really hear a lot from our coaches really trying to have them play total football. You actually will see a lot of moving in certain positions. It's something that continues to develop. And if Eric was on the line, he'd tell you how much it means to him when he sees a centre back moving into the midfield and creating different questions for the opposing teams to answer. So I think it's there. You see that model and you see that style of play coming through. um, I wouldn't say it is as developed as the Dutch national team, but at the same time, we do put in a bit of the flavor, knowing what are the strengths of Jamaican teams. I think the Dutch style of players do a lot of pressing, so you're gonna see it in our games. You're gonna see moments that we're gonna put pressure on the ball, and then now how can we use our speed as well in the attack? So you're gonna see it a little bit more. So we look to keep possession, but I think there might be a difference. Instead of making 50 passes to get a goal, can we complete 18 passes to get our goal? Because we want to spend more time using our speed up front to get the ball in the net.
Okay. Africans from Canada. Also, how do these relationship help the coaches? Are there mentorship or connections that can be built with similar level coaches overseas?
Um, I mean, the relationships that we form with the coaches. I mean, there's a little bit more that probably every now and again you have to really ask for me to remember all of the information. So there's possibilities to have some of the coaches that we met there to come to Jamaica. I think they were impressed with some of the
Mhm.
talent,
All
and
right.
they see a reason to come to Jamaica. Um, I think the relationships just continue to go. Is As I mentioned, you play a PSV and the PSV coach knows another coach, so you start to get even more countries involved. So right now it's mainly Germany and Netherlands we go to, but just the overall diaspora there starts to go and our relationships go there. And even a big thing that we want to continue adding to all of that is the education side. How can they actually come and assist in the education of coaches? So that's something we're still setting up. And then I think the most important, as we all know, is trying to get Jamaicans there. And I think we've been in discussions, not just with coaches in that area, but you have other countries in Europe starting to have discussions about players and us sending players to Europe. So that is the long term goal, the most important goal, because we really want to have ways to send our Jamaicans overseas. Seen so many on the international circuit, just warms the heart. I think Eric and I always have one big fight, because we all want to see our player one day play in the Champions League final. But he wants them for Ajax and I want them for Manchester